What's going on, peeps? Goobs back with another video. In this one, we have a bit of a different video. I haven't done something like this. There is a new program that has just dropped in MLB The Show. I'm going to take you through what you should be doing in it. Before I get into this one, I am recording this on the 4th of July, so happy 4th to all of my American followers and stuff like that. I just watched Joey Chestnut scarf down more than 60 hot dogs on one leg. That guy's insane. Who don't love Joey Chestnut? Really, people don't talk about how Matt Stoney like fell off, bro. Matt Stoney like contended with him for like 1 year and then just never did it again. Anyway, let's take a look at this program and let's see who you should be taking in it. I haven't really played this weekend. I have 2600 XP earned, so I haven't even tried any of these cards, but I'm just gonna kind of give my opinion on them. So they've obviously switched up the way to do programs. There's no longer like any team affinities. There's no, inning bosses and stuff like that. It's just all through these feature programs that reset probably once every 3 weeks. I think they do it usually. The next one will probably be like an all-star game, like home run derby, like mid-season update kind of program. So we should actually get some really nice like cards, like people that are playing right now, not like legends and stuff like that. Because like obviously the legends and stuff that we get are great, but myself personally, I like using the guys that are actually still playing now. So there's actually some really good like low tier to mid tier diamond cards as well. There's this classic pack which has 2 old future stars, 2 old prospects, and then this player of the month Gio Urshela. All these cards are actually pretty solid. These are kind of like Luzardo and Joe Adell are kind of like those former top prospects that haven't really taken that next step yet. But then a card like Bo obviously is a Jays fan I'd like to see. So some kind of like decent cards here for like team builds and stuff like that. This Eloy card is actually pretty solid for a budget beast as well. You will probably need all of these cards for collections and stuff later on in the year, like the prospect cards. You'll probably need these for the next like George Brett collection that comes out, so you want to keep these guys. You don't want to sell them off. I don't think they're, you can't even sell them anyway. They're all like 8,000 stubs, so you want to hang on to those guys for later on in the year. There's some golds that was in the game already. This is a new one, I believe. These cards are also cheap, so these are just guys that once you get the pack, or I don't know how many packs you get like throughout all these, like how many flashback and legend packs that you get, but you want to hang on to all of those just because you'll need them later on in the year. I see some pretty decent cards. Like Billy Williams actually isn't a terrible bench bat. We all know how good Harmon Killebrew is, and if you want to piss somebody off in rank, just bring in Seth Lugo because he has the longest release in like fucking stretch of all time. He takes like 10 seconds to throw the ball. It's awful. There's obviously like a lot of packs and like different equipment and stuff that you can get along the way, which is nice too if you haven't grinded out some of the other like the Jackie Robinson one. I think there's like another one that gives you like the socks and stuff like that just for your ball player, or if you play Road to the Show. It's helpful. There's some pretty funny like little like sound cues and stuff like that. You guys know how much I like my sound cues with like the bruh and I'm walking here. Dude, those are common. Those are really an underrated addition that will be the show that they've added the last couple of years. People don't talk about them, but they're fucking hilarious. Let's get into the pack that everyone actually cares about though. So the boss pack. So you get a boss pack at 250k XP, you want a 325, and I think that's it. You might get another one later on. No, so you only get 2 boss. So you get 2 boss packs, which is pretty solid. At least they can give you 2, and then you just got to go buy the other 2 if you really want them. So really all I'm going to be doing in this video is just going through each card, going through their good stats and their flaws, and if you should be buying them, if they should be on your rank team or not. Starting off with, I think, is he still the most expensive actual baseball card of all time? Mr. Honus? I've always called him Honus, but I've actually heard that his actual name was Honus, so I'm still going to call him Honus. Honus Wagner with the high content. This card kind of reminds me of like that Austin Martin Future Stars card. Pretty solid high contact. Power is kind of lacking. 99 bunt, so for you bunt choosers out there, this is the guy for you. He can play virtually anywhere except for catcher. He can steal bases. He's got 92 speed with 99 stealing. Parallel 3, I believe. He gets diamond defense in center field, so honestly, this is a card that I would love to try out and just see how he is. I can't tell you he's going to be amazing. I think he actually would be pretty solid, though. If you look at the outfielder tier list that I did, or not the tier list, it was just like a top 10 ranking. This guy would definitely be within the top 5, I would say. I don't know if he cracks my outfield of Clemente, Trout, and Babe, but definitely if like you don't have Trout, or dude, you could honestly stick him at second or at short. He won't get diamond defense there, but he'll still do phenomenal defensive work. Nobody is actually grinding this card out to parallel 2. He's been out for like a week or so already, and nobody even has him P4, so nobody's showing my man Honus some love. So I think this card is actually very undervalued, man. 90k, 100k. I think all these cards are kind of hovering at around there. I haven't actually checked them, but if Honus is around 100, some of them might be a little bit more expensive because he's probably out of the four the least desirable, I would say, like the least picked. I guess people, people aren't going to pick Honus compared to some of these other guys, but I think this card is actually very viable. We will get the Pizza Man out of the way, and dude, shout out to SDS for the card art on, especially on this Piazza one, dude. This Piazza one is sickening. The card art is sick. My fat ass head and the face cam is kind of blocking it right now, but I promise you, all you have to do is load up the game, and we all know what we're getting with my Piazzas. Around the same price with Honus. Now, I always get super excited when I see Mike Piazza cards like this because I always think to myself, is this finally the year he has a good swing? He's got first base, secondary, so you can't stick him at first. Honestly, probably the second best first baseman that you could use behind Frank, arguably, like statistic wise. He does have, I think, is that silver defense, so you get him paralleled up, he actually would get gold defense at catching, and he does have 83 blocking, so he's not going to be a liability behind the plate, but you might not notice him compared to like a creative player or like a Joe Mauer. But 103, 108, 101, and 115, it's really that 108 and 115 against lefties is what I'm looking at here. So this card, I think even if you have Joe Mauer, I think you want to give Piazza a try. I would give him a try at catcher no matter what, because if they finally fix his swing and his swing is better, this is going to be the go-to catcher for the foreseeable future. That is, of course, until All-Star Alejandro Kirk comes out. I think Piazza's actually, for like, I guess this is technically like a low overall Piazza. He should get a better card than this later on in the game. He'll probably be matched up against lefties and like a little bit better against righties with a little bit better defense. You can make a Piazza card better than this for sure, but as like a mid-game Piazza card, I think this is a big W from SDS. It's all just going to depend on if his swing is good and if the ball comes off the bat good, because years past it really hasn't, but this year might be different. My man Stan the Man is in this program, dude. Let's go, Stan the Man. I think Stan's first year was the Immortal year in MLB 18, and he was one of the only Immortals that I actually got because I think he was an event reward that year, and he was one of my favorite cards that year. It's just with overtime, as DD has grown, they've gotten more money, and they've gotten rights to, more higher up legends and stuff like that, so someone like Stan the Man's not as viable as he was, back in the old days, bro. But this card is still good. He's got 107, 116, 92, 96 for power, so fantastic hitting attributes. And one thing I really like about Stan Musial cards, as a lefty, especially in this game with how many lefty starters there are, dude, he's got those inverse splits. He's actually better against lefties, which is huge this year. 116, 96 for a lefty is not something to joke around with, and 107, 92 is just as good against righties. I think if we get him paralleled up a little bit, a power even higher, I think this card's only going to improve the more that you use him. He actually does have gold defense in right field as well, so if you need another lefty bat, remember, you probably don't want more than like 3 lefties in your lineup, I would say, but that 80 fielding in right, he's a little bit slow, 53, but 53 speed in right field is definitely still viable. Nobody's got him to P5 yet. I'd actually love to see a P5 Stan Musial because I think that card would be absolutely sickening. He'd be what? He'd be over 100 to both sides against lefties. So if you're a Cardinals fan, please let me know how the Stan Musial card is because I really want to try him. I just don't know where I can fit him. He also has 94 vision, so he's going to be so annoying to face because that outer PCI will be ginormous, so he'll be fouling off so many pitches. We're going to look at Piazza's vision as well, so 84 vision on Piazza and 101 on Honus. So Honus is going to be impossible to strike out, so you got to factor that stat in as well. Vision doesn't technically like do anything stat-wise in game, but it's more so just for the outer PCI size, and it basically just makes it easier to foul up pitch. But I had to save the best for last, and in my opinion, the clear-cut choice in this pack. Hot man Raleigh Fingers, dude, look at this card. Number one, he's got 35 stamina, so he won't be in the yellow after throwing 3 pitches. That is W number 1. W number 2 is that he's got 111 hits per 9 to start off with 115 K per 9. 115 K per 9 doesn't really do anything in game, but there's no red flags with this card. There's no problems with this card. There's no stat that I'm like, oh shit, You know, with somebody like Honus, it was like, oh, his power's not the best. With Piazza, it's like, oh, his swing. With Stan the Man, it's like, okay, he's not bad, but like, are there better options? I think you could very well make the case that Raleigh is hands above the best reliever in the game right now. When you look at like the bullpens, like the top tier bullpens, it's Kenley for righties, Johan Duran for righties as well. People still like Devin Williams. You know, these are cards that have been attainable. At least, well, Duran has been, but you know, Kenley and like these face the franchise guys. These guys have been obtainable since day one. This is really the first like high tier end game bullpen guy we've gotten this year. 111, 115, as I said, and with the 92 watts per minute and the 93 control, with the control on his pitches, man, and the pitch break, I preach Raleigh every single year because he is always my best reliever no matter what. I don't know if it's just because I know how to pitch with him so well or what, but this card is going to dominate you. It's going to dominate you. And I know it's 100k stubs for a reliever, which is a lot, but I'm telling you, this card will be in your bullpen the rest of the year. 3 people already have him super fractor, bro. So there you go. Imagine loading into a game and you have to face P5 Raleigh fingers, dude. I would just shut my console off. I literally just bully people with that forkball. It's so crazy how good this card is year in and year out. So in my opinion, man, I think Raleigh is definitely the go-to. I think out of your 2 packs, if you were to grind this program out, I guess we can also talk about Fernando as well. So Valenzuela's first year in MLB The Show, I believe, was last year. I think it was it last year or 20? I can't remember exactly, but this is probably going to be his best card that we get. He's currently sitting around 60k. This card is going to either dominate you or he's going to last 2 innings against you. There's no in between. I remember I faced Ochev last year and he used Valenzuela, and it was the first time I've ever faced Valenzuela, and I was in the mixer for 3 innings. Couldn't touch the baseball, couldn't do anything. Literally couldn't do anything for like 3 innings, and then once you finally get used to the stuff and it stops fooling you, you're gonna kill him. The really annoying thing about Valenzuela is his hits per 9 is pretty high at 102, so your PCI is gonna be, you know, kind of small, and obviously he's a lefty. We don't like lefties, and he's got 119 stamina, so he's gonna be able to throw probably 100. If he's dominating you, confidence is high, he's gonna be able to throw probably upwards of like 140, 150 pitches before he starts to get tired. The control on his screwball is pretty solid, and obviously the break on it is pretty good, but that doesn't really counteract the fact that he has 72 watts per 9 and 87 control, so he's probably going to be a little bit hard to use. You might get a little bit annoyed when some pitches kind of hang over the middle of the plate. So just be kind of cautious if you're using Valenzuela. You can definitely try him out, and he will fool people, but there will come a time where somebody's just all over him and just yank him. He's got a short leash, just yank him. I would definitely give Valenzuela a shot, though, so you can really boost up your rotation and your bullpen in this program. Valenzuela is a great addition. Raleigh's a great addition. And honestly, man, the other pick that you get, so if you take Raleigh in the first pack, I would really just see who you need. It would probably be one of, if you need a catcher, I'd go with Piazza if you don't have Joe Mauer or your creative ball player there. But I really want to know how this Stan Musial card is too, because I think this card is going to be absolutely fantastic, and I really hope we get the 99 Stan like kind of early on in the year so we have some longevity to him. Let me know what you guys think, though. I appreciate all the support so far in the videos. Drop a like if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to go check out all of the links down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Let me know who you guys picked in, I guess, like the Takashi program, the Sizzling Summer. Who you guys picked. I appreciate all the support once again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.